Okay, this is the youth and family warranting class. And I am Lady Leodin, Honorable Lady Leodin. We are talking about the Office of Youth and Family, and whether you are a at large, just wanting to help out, you want to actually become an officer, hey, great. This class is for you. The Office of Youth and Family is, for all intents and purposes, the ANS side of the all of the youth activities. So our mission is to provide a safe and supportive environment for youth and families in the SCA. And how we do that is offer a safe space for the kids to have an opportunity to learn about a lot of the things that the grown-ups are doing. We can sometimes invite we open it up to the youth themselves, and their families can join in as well. Sometimes the kids' activities are a less intimidating introduction to some of the adult activities for some adults. We are trying to help the children with develop leadership skills. We use a lot of project-based learning. In a sense, fun with a purpose. And we foster a sense of community among the youth and the families. The importance of our youth activities. Youth activities provide a safe and supportive environment for youth to learn about the history, culture, and the arts of the medieval period. They also help develop essential life skills such as teamwork, leadership, and creativity. They are designed to be fun and engaging for all ages, all abilities, and include a variety of activities such as archery, arts and crafts, cooking, dancing, fighting, and more. SCA youth activities are also an excellent way for youth to make new friends and meet others who share their interests. I'm going to try and get through this as fast as I can so that we can open it up for more questions. One of the major responsibilities of the Youth and Family Officer, the YFO or UFO, I'm an alien, mothership. Sorry, squirrel. One of the major responsibilities of the Youth and Family Officer is to help plan youth activities at events. That does not mean that you are, as the youth officer, you don't have to do all of the activities yourself. I've always done them all myself because, well, that was the climate in which we were at the time. And let me tell you, doing stuff with the kids is just so much fun. But you can also invite apprentices, anybody, talk to your group of friends, say, hey, you want to come and present, your special interest. Come on. We all love to info dump. Let people shine in their area of expertise. Somebody who does candle making. Candle making's fun with kids. You can do beeswax candles. You can do all sorts of things. Somebody likes, you like to do jewelry making. Kids can do jewelry making. They love doing this sort of thing. It gives children an opportunity to help and try new things, and adds a lot of fun to the group's experience. All kingdom level events must offer 3 hours of youth activities. SCA groups must get approval for youth activities from the seneschal, event steward, and the UFO if available. If no UFO is available and a volunteer runs the activities, the seneschal must ensure that the volunteer is aware of relevant policies. Try to have someone, if there is no background checked person, warranted person available, parents will have to stay with their children. It cannot be a drop off like most of them are. If we have, yes, Deborah.
A background check is it doesn't have to be specifically for this office, does it? It's just any kind of SCA background check. You could be background.
Well, any kind of SCA background check. I mean, as long as it is SCA, then that does count.
Yeah, so you could be background check initially as an archery marshal or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But say you don't have anybody, you're scheduling children's activities at a time when say your youth marshal or your archery marshal who have these background checks aren't available. You have to have the parents stay with them, or you're not in an open area. A lot of times we've managed to skirt around the too deep leadership by having children's activities in the main hall where everybody is, so that you technically can slide with the too deep leadership. And that really helps, because sometimes, I run into it. I don't always have a second. And having youth activities in with everybody else has been a blessing. Parents are responsible for the children's behavior and supervision at events. And while they are with you, you can discipline to a certain degree, but it is one of those, like, okay, you go sit out of the activity. That would be about it. And then speak to the parent after the activities are done. Let's see, next one. Coordinating children's activities. Children exhibiting problematic behavior should be returned to the parents and the issue reported. I haven't had much trouble with this, but I know that there have been issues with this. But yeah, you just get the you should have on your sign-in sheets a phone number to contact the parent, and then call them, or have your second call them, and they can come and pick up their child. 2 unrelated adults with at least one background check must supervise all youth activities. This is known as the two deep rule. UFOs must ensure enough supervision and have the right to cancel activities if requirements are not met, which is one of the reasons why it has been a blessing to have youth activities situated in with everybody else. That way, we don't have to cancel the youth activities. Locate youth activities near main areas, but consider noise, traffic, and safety. Use caution when hosting activities in private rooms. Try not to host them in private rooms if you can avoid it. And that's where your two deep is essential if you have to have it away from the general populace. You need to have at least two unrelated individuals coordinating any activity sponsored by the SCA, with at least one of them having received an SCA background check. And this, it can be marshals, it can be anybody who has a background check in order to work with any of the youth in any situation. This rule is in place to ensure the safety of our youth and their families. The two deep rule is a risk mitigation strategy that helps to ensure that there is always at least one responsible adult. Sorry, who can supervise the activity and intervene if necessary. It also helps to prevent one individual from having too much power or influence over the youth and families involved. The two deep rule is integral to the SCA's commitment to providing all members a safe and supportive environment. In planning your activities, consider your audience, age, ability, and interests. Always ask if there is a theme to the event that you're coordinating activities for, because it is so much easier to design around a theme than it is to, just go and say, okay, now what? Choose activities. Popular opinions include arts and crafts, archery, games, history lessons, and more. Set a budget. Find out if you're doing events. They should set aside a piece of the budget for activities. And that way, this ensures that you don't overspend on materials. We aren't talking about that. Find activity locations. Ensure enough space and safety for all participants. Prioritize safety. Being in a small room with 51 children, safety is definitely a concern. We won't talk about that either. Recruit volunteers. Make sure they understand the SCA youth protection policy. Create a schedule. Set them up like classes. Just like we have classes like our warranting class. Set them up like classes. Kids can choose whether or not they want to stay for the whole, 3 hours, or if they want to pick and choose what class they go to. Promote the activities. It's when you're doing activities within an event or a demo, keep in contact with your autocrats and That way you can get on the schedule. They know what you're doing. And they might even have some suggestions for you. Be flexible. Yes. When dealing with children, be flexible because sometimes they will blow through an activity. Have an extra one. Um, always be able to adapt your plans as needed to accommodate unforeseen situations, like them blowing through an activity, or they get bored. They want to do something else. Okay. Um, additional tips: keep activities short and engaging. Well, I've done a whole 3 hours of brewing, soda making. We War of the Rims. We did 3 hours. I thought it was only going to be an hour. I thought they'd get bored. Nope. Give them sugar, and they are. So 20 to 30 minutes. Most of mine run about an hour, and the kids really like that. Okay, that was something else. Offer a variety of options to cater to different interests. Absolutely. Like I said, themes. Themes are excellent. I've done let's explore Africa. I did this at a coronet, and the kids loved it. They loved the musical instruments. We did archaeology. We explored instruments of African art, and just all kinds of things. They were happy all day. Ensure inclusivity and accessibility for all participants. Absolutely. Not everybody is going to be able to. You have to gauge ability. Some kids are not as dexterous as others, but it's most important to have fun. And through all of this, they are learning and they don't know it. Keep bullying policy. Yeah, no bullying. No, what goes for adults goes for kids. And being able to nip it in the bud before it gets out of hand. We definitely would have to inform the parents and the bully being removed from activities until they can behave properly.
If you have a wide range of ages, let's say, is there a good way to make sure that the older kids aren't kind of keeping the younger ones out of doing it? Does that make sense?
Well, I mean, what I think you're saying is, keeping the older kids from keeping the younger kids from doing the things. Have kind of get an idea of how many kids to expect. You could do like a pre-reg. Use a Google form and have parents sign up that way. That way you can kind of gauge how many kids to expect and have enough supplies. Most of the time, I've never had any. I have not really had any problem with kids, older kids, taking supplies away from younger kids. In fact, I see a lot of my older kids helping the younger kids with what they're doing.
Yeah, I don't think that's quite what I meant. I think I meant more of, well, I'm not sure exactly. I'm not sure I can describe it. So
I mean, if you're, are you talking about maybe the older kids maybe getting bored and being disruptive?
Yeah, that's probably more.
Okay.
Or making, infecting the younger kids with a, this is stupid, this is, we don't want to do this kind of thing.
Um, I have a group of older kids here in Venting, and they kind of hang out by themselves unless there is something specifically offered for them, which leaves me with the 12 and under crowd. But I mean, I haven't really had any problems with my 12-year-olds being disruptive. And in fact, they're usually wanting to help out. And it could be different in different parts of the kingdom as well. So I haven't played much south. But even when I was down at War of the Rams, I didn't see a lot of that. The older kids kind of hung out by themselves. They were welcome to come over and do the things the little ones were doing, but they kind of had their own thing. But I haven't seen it. It doesn't mean it doesn't happen.
May I speak on that? When it comes to the actual activities, you can stagger when you make your plans. You can stagger some things that are for the younger kids' skills and the older kids' skills. If you approach your older kids, because again, when you're in youth and family activities, it's 5 to 12. The teenagers are their own thing. You will have teens that come over and help if that's the larger age range that you're worried about. But generally, they want to come and do the activity because it looks cool, and then they want to run away, which as teens, they're allowed to do. It's up to you if you want to let them do your youth activities. I have had a couple of teens that I'm perfectly fine with. And I have one particular teen that I really have to have extra help. If I've got extra adults with me, he's fine to come over because he will distract the other kids. This is a known child a known teen. But for the most part, my 12 and 13-year-olds that come, they do it. And if they do it well and they just blow through it, they either start a secondary project or they turn around and help the kids. And as long as you approach them that way, they're pretty good about that. The only time we've really had issues with distractions is when we shared a room with just an open room, and they all it was the only room that has plugins. And so it was the only rooms that kids with electronics could be in. And so we had teens and kids with electronics that weren't signed into activities, that then had your kids that were signed into activities trying to float over to them because, we're playing Minecraft. That's the only time I've ever had an issue with any of that, like actually detracting from the activities.
Yeah, electronics, those are so much fun. Not at SCA events. Certainly not for those of us who are working with the youths, trying to keep them engaged.
Can you declare youth activities kind of a no electronic zone, or?
Sure.
Okay.
We have done that too.
UFO responsibilities. Promote the youth and family activities by advertising and collaborating with the seneschals and the event coordinators. Organize and run activities. You can recruit your friends to come and teach classes. You can develop activities for various ages. You can have I have a tub that is bookbinding. I mean, it's very, 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 very simple bookbinding, like Chinese stab binding or Japanese stab binding. Stupid simple stuff that they can really do, or embroidery, have that off to the side so that they can, rifle through it and do it on their own. while you're teaching the younger ones either about the same thing or something different. I also keep a games tote that a lot of times my teens will run off with and bring back at the end of the day. And it's just various medieval games. Recruit new members. Having a tent at an SCA demo, or just even being at an SCA demo. Have make and takes for the kids to do. Marin and I have done this for several years at the Norman Medieval Fair. It is so much fun. A lot of work, but so much fun. I think that first year after COVID, we had 600 come through the tent?
A little over 600.
Of the kids, we had roughly 600 kids go out the door. Yeah.
Yeah.
From our counts, the bees and the about 600 kids touched the table.
Yeah.
And I know at the school demo I did here just recently, I had 120 kids.
Wow.
From that, and that's 120 different families that came to the kids centric. Everything on the table was made by a child. Everything was an example of kids activities that we've done. There were pictures of kids activities with my photo releases. I did get that covered this time. And I also had the youth, and I had a set of youth armor for both sets of armor. The only thing I didn't have was a bow, and that's because they wouldn't allow an archery presentation to be there, which sucked. But the game we were running a carnival game, and it was literally the thrown weapons with the plastic axes and the pegboard thing. So it was a lot of fun. A lot of kids, a lot of families. Every child that you have that takes a card is 2 adults and extended family, versus an adult that takes a card. You might get that adult. You might get,
right.
That adult may never come again.
So, yeah. And as I said earlier, that youth activities can be a way for new families to be less intimidated by the arts and sciences that we do. Because we present it in such a way that it is hands-on. They can get a feel for what their passion is in I don't want to say safer environment, but a less intimidating environment. Because I know as a new person going to classes, it's hard to ask questions. It's not always user friendly. And some people are just not academics. They're not the research junkies. Like, they will be by the end of it, but but it's parents coming to the youth activities can sometimes be a way as a good jumping off point. And it helps to support the family unit within the SCA. And recognize your youth through award recommendations. We've got so many youth awards now that we didn't used to have. So yes, please submit award recommendations. You see a kid doing something really awesome, like serving feast or helping out in general, submit them for an award. You don't know what award that would cover what they're doing. Submit it to the B&B or the principality, whoever, and say, I saw them doing this, and I thought they were really awesome, and they need an award. Well, and then that your B&Bs, your prince and princess, your kingdom, your king and queen can look at what they've done and say, yeah, they deserve this award. So we don't always have to know what award they deserve. You just know that they deserve one. More responsibilities. Be a resource. Answer questions about the program and the SCA. This is where, when you're at a demo or at they're all going to be demos at that point. You're answering questions about what exactly the youth and family program is, what the SCA is. You can point them to who they might need to talk to get signed up, say they want to learn how to do fighting. Well, you can point them to either the youth marshal or the marshal, and help the families connect with other SCA members. Be familiar and follow the youth protection policy. Serve as a positive role model. Just demonstrate patience, understanding, and inclusivity, and possess a willingness to learn and grow within the role. Become a research junkie. Requirements: you have to be at least 18. You also have to have a membership, and let's see, be a member of the SCA with a membership valid through the warranting date, which is typically 6 months after you are elected or appointed to the position. Be at least 18. Complete a background check. Group officers must maintain an official kingdom email address for the office and post all official notices and publications through that email address. So any communication with other MOCs in the kingdom, other MOCs in your area, or just with the just getting information from the kingdom MOC. Hi, at least until July, because then my 2 years is up. Has it been 2 years already? The email is our main official form of communication. Yeah, you can ping me on Facebook Messenger and say, hey, I'm sending you an email. That way I know to look for it. But yeah, all communication needs to go through your email, your official email address. Let's see, background check. This is all the background check information. Email your kingdom UFO, who will forward it to the kingdom seneschal. Just email it to the kingdom seneschal. You can and you can CC me on it. That is perfectly reasonable. and we need at-larges, we need youth officers. Please, please, please. I will take anybody in a pinch. Not really. Not just anyone. You've got to love kids.
Well, if you don't go to very many SCA events, is it worth it to the kingdom to run a background check? I know it costs money to do it, though I guess you could reimburse them for it.
I mean, if you are going to an event that you are being the youth officer for, as the coordinator, you have to have the background check. And if you're the youth officer, or if you want to be the youth officer for your group, then you have to have the background check. It doesn't really matter how many events. I mean, even if you only go to 2 events per year and they're your own groups of events that you're coordinating the activities for, yes, it costs money, but at the same time, if you want that position, you have to have it.
It is better to have the background check so that others can also call on you and say, hey, I need to go to the bathroom. Can you watch them real quick while I run to the bathroom if you're at
Exactly.
that event? And also to do kids' activities at a populace meeting, at a fighter practice where you just set up activities for the kids to come over and do. Those still count as UFO activities. You can still put those in because your kids are still taking part. UFO is not just for events.
Right.
We can do these at anything, and you're required to have the background check to do it. And they're willing to pay for it. Get it. Because it covers other officers too.
Yeah, because, I mean, say you're at a fire practice and they don't have a background check person, their youth marshal is not there that has the background check, but you have people willing to work with the youth. You're acting as the background check person.
You have to have the fighters have to be also approved for that, because there are some
really?
fighters that cannot fight kids. But there are others that, like, say Charles is running a fighter practice, but he can't make it or he's running late. You can still start it by having a background check person there to have to start arming up, things like that.
Yeah.
You can also have them run drills that aren't impacting.
Right. You can have them run drills or things like that. Background checks
are at the 10-minute mark.
I know.
Is there any particular policy about snacks and things like that at events for the kids, or?
I haven't run into anything.
You just have to be careful of allergies.
Yes.
And know the children in your area.
Exactly.
Know the kids that show up. Because we've had what we called the Hobbit. We did 3 years in a row for North Keep was
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings. And we had hobbits and we had snacks every time. Basically like a princess tea where you just have a little luncheon. And you have activities. We've done bread in a bag. We've done the Roman road that's made with food. You just have to watch out for your specific area kids. Know if they're going to be at the event, and know what their allergies are.
Yeah. And if you know you're going to be doing something with food, that's when you advertise that you are doing something with food. And if they have if the children that others are bringing have any allergies, that they need to let you know, because allergies are not something to play with. Your background check will be valid for 2 years, and your expiration date will be reflected in your membership count. Reporting. Local officers are due the 2nd of March, June, September, and December. Regionals are due by the 5th. And Kingdom is due by the 10th. And events are due within 30 days after the event. And your report should include upcoming events and activities, challenges and successes, and needs and requests.
Demos count as an event also for reporting.
Yes. And there is a link to the reporting here. And I will take that, copy that, and I will put that in messages.
A quick clarification. This is for reporting youth activities, but not youth fighting, not boffer or rapier. Those fall under
Yeah, this is just for the
Youth activities.
yes,
Marshallate falls under different rules, and they go up under the Earl Marshallate reporting. We go up through the UFO and Seneschalate reporting.
right. Okay.
and this is
6-minute warning.
yes. Sorry, we're almost done. Your event reports, this is what it should include. What type of event it was, when it was, where it was, how many kids you had, a description of the activities offered, any feedback or suggestions or improvement, and local, regional, and events are filed online using reporting form on the officer's website. And I already gave you that. The official handbook can be found here. I will copy that, put it in here. Handbook. Youth and Family Facebook page can be found there. Ah, no. Undo. Okay, and now you get a quiz. It's not graded.